Today on Paranormal Insights, we're going to take a look at HAARP, the secret government program that's not so secret.
And we have a question from Joelle about accomplishing a major feat.
And a quick look with guitar alchemist Scott Huckabay. I'm Joseph Ernest Martin.
And I'm Linda Potter.
And this is Paranormal Insights, where we bring you the latest and best from the metaphysical world.
Where you'll find real tools and insights to your questions and answers from beyond the ordinary.
Linda is a hypnotist with a specialty in past life regression and guided meditation. She's also the author of an amazing new book, The Miracle of Self-Healing.
An award-winning author for over 20 years, Joseph Ernest Martin is author of the international bestseller, The Quest to Row, and recipient of the Visionary Award of Excellence.
You know, I was just at this amazing conference this weekend, Conspiracy Con, and there they're talking about all these things that aren't in the news, and one of them was HAARP. What is HAARP? It's the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program created by the U.S. government, located in South Central Alaska. It's currently 180 antennas that are planned to be increased to 360 antennas. This giant array focuses energy to almost anywhere on the planet. HAARP's influences have been attributed to such events as the Japan earthquake. It's been linked to being used as a long-range weapons system, emitting complex frequencies toward specific targets. It's theorized that the cascade of electrons that could be triggered by HAARP could flip the Earth's magnetic poles, creating a pole shift on our planet. It could turn portions of the upper atmosphere into a gigantic lens, making the sky appear to burn. It may be able to manipulate the weather patterns affecting crops and food productions in other countries. The high-frequency energy radiation from HAARP could easily affect the minds and thinking abilities of anyone targeted, whether that be a country or a group of protesting citizens. The government claims that HAARP is a scientific endeavor for studying the properties and behaviors of the ionosphere. Yet, the United States congressional record shows that HAARP has been used for penetrating the Earth's signals bounced off the Earth's fragile ionosphere to look deep inside our planet at a depth of many kilometers. This capability could locate deeply hidden underground munitions and bases and search for precious metals. The problem with this is that the energy needed to do this deep penetrating search beneath the Earth causes harm to humans and the brain's ability to think and process information. This intense energy could profoundly affect the migration patterns of fish, wild animals, and sea life that depend on the undisturbed energy fields of the Earth to find their migration routes and locations. Authors Begich and Manning, in their book, Angels Don't Play This HAARP, brought to light that the use of HAARP at high energy levels could create entirely new weather effects and patterns over entire hemispheres of our planet. HAARP can take huge amounts of energy directed at our ionosphere and bounce it back towards the Earth. This would effectively disrupt the magnetic field of the Earth itself and could prompt devastating earthquakes. HAARP has been long rumored to be an incredibly effective earthquake weapon. According to Press TV, an unconfirmed report by the Russian Northern Fleets attributed the tragic earthquake in Haiti to be caused by the use of the U.S. Navy earthquake weapon that went horribly wrong. Some speculate that the earthquake in Japan was not caused by natural events. The quake happened just days after Japan was moving towards breaking ties with the U.S., according to an article published on February 25th. Now, with just 30 watts of energy, you can beam a signal into the ground and locate oil reserves. Each layer of the Earth vibrates at a different frequency. When you beam energy into the ground and create vibrations in the different stratas of the Earth, with only 30 watts of energy, you can locate these different stratas. HAARP uses millions of watts of energy. This energy may become amplified through the Earth's own ionosphere. When you do this with 1,000,000 watts, the ground of the Earth shakes. Your whole house would shake. And the vibrations deep underground would be so violent that they could easily cause an earthquake. In an interview with Hazo Takanaka, the former Japanese finance minister, when asked why Japan handed over control of the Japanese financial system to a group of American and European oligarchs, he and his envoy said it was because Japan had been threatened by an earthquake machine. There is no doubt that the information in the congressional records and through the Freedom of Information Act over the last 40 years shows that HAARP does much more than just research of the Earth's ionosphere.
HAARP is something that a lot of people know nothing about, because the thing with HAARP is it's in government-issued documents that are not open to the public domain. In 1912, Nikola Tesla, a scientist and visionary genius, developed high-frequency radio technology. He foresaw creating shields around the Earth that would protect us from missiles, and he envisioned the ability to change the weather with this technology. Dr. Bernard Eastland, a plasma physicist who has his own story to tell, applied for the patents on Tesla's work. Patents that could bring Tesla's ideas into being. And it's said that HAARP is using these patents as a blueprint for their program. So what is the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Project? HAARP is a joint effort of the United States Air Force and the Navy in cooperation with a number of academic institutions. According to John Heckscher, who's the project manager for HAARP, its function is for improving communications, navigations, and surveillance. But Dr. Patrick Flanagan, an electromagnetic expert, says HAARP is playing with the energy system of the Earth. Physically, HAARP is comprised of 35 acres of 180 antennas in Gakona, Alaska. Each antenna stands 72 feet tall and function as one linked unit. This unit has the ability to be pointed into a laser-like beam, gathering all the power from each antenna into one narrow path directed at the ionosphere. The ionosphere is a naturally charged electrical shield around the Earth, and it protects us. It protects all of life from deadly solar radiation. Now, science tells us that we need the ionosphere for our survival. In fact, for the survival of all life on Earth, for without it, we would literally fry. Dr. Brooks Agnew, a physicist and topography expert, put it into perspective when he said that in 1983 he used radio tomography and beamed 30 watts of power into solid rock looking for oil in the ground. He found 26 oil wells in a 9-state area with 100% accuracy, using only 30 watts of power. HAARP uses 1 billion watts and beams it right into the ionosphere for experiments. Dr. Nick Begich, co-author of Angels Don't Play This HAARP, said, when the ionosphere is lifted up, the lower atmosphere rushes in and fills that void, which can change the jet stream. He says that it's being used for weather modification, that the military has admitted it within their own documents, but that they continue to deny it publicly. The use of HAARP is believed to create floods, volcanic action, earthquakes, and even used for mind control. According to Dr. Bagich, HAARP is a ground-based Star Wars weapon prototype. The low-frequency energy that HAARP puts out can actually be used to control the human mind. In fact, in 1960, the Russians shot these electromagnetic waves at the American embassy in Moscow. It caused a wide range of physical and mental illness. It's been suggested by Agnew that HAARP was likely used during the first Gulf War with Iraq, where millions of Iraqi soldiers surrendered without a fight. The public hasn't always been aware, but it's being brought out into the mainstream more and more by whistleblowers, by people like lecturer and author David Wilcock, and ex-governor and SEAL team member Jesse Ventura. They've exposed the government secrets that really are no longer so secret. In the words of Nikola Tesla, science is but a perversion of itself, unless it has as its ultimate goal the betterment of humanity.
Well, you know, what I find interesting about this too is that this facility, which is supposed to be open to the public, is only open one day every 2 years. And when these frequency comes within the same range as the human brain, it can affect people, affect their behavior, affect how they think, and affect how they act. Now that may make you wonder, why would you want to even do that? But if you have a country that you're not in favor with, you can affect the population of that country over time in very dramatic ways. If you have protesters in your country and you're not happy with what they're saying or doing, you can affect groups of people simply by beaming this radiation at them. If you watch the world, you'll notice how crazy people have been acting for some time now, especially at times and in certain groups. What HAARP actually does needs to be finally exposed so that we can judge for ourselves whether this is a good thing or a bad thing by our own government.
And you can be sure that the people that are allowed to go in there are looked at very closely, because we know that a lot of the whistleblowers would never get anywhere near that place. HAARP crosses right into the world of the paranormal simply because of what it does. We know that it's used for surveillance and navigation, but what you don't hear about, at least in government-issued documents that are publicly given, is you don't hear about the mind control that it does. And when it comes to mind control and how it crosses into this world of the paranormal, is that most people will not give a whistleblower, even a scientist, a place to, let's call it a platform, to speak about what things HAARP is doing. It's a very strong community that wants to keep the information about HAARP secret. So the world of the paranormal gives us that space on the internet that you can go into and find very qualified and very respected scientists and psychics that are in working together, let's say, in regard to bringing the information about HAARP to the public. HAARP is a program that a lot of people should take a peek at, even if it's something that's a little bit out of your comfort zone, because you might be a little bit surprised at what you'll find.
I'm here at the New Living Expo with an amazing artist, Scott Huckabay. Scott is a guitar alchemist, and I know that's a unique term. His music yesterday was filling this huge venue with amazing sounds. People have said that his music is not only healing, but creates vortexes. Now, people are going to wonder, what does a guitar alchemist mean?
What in my terms, it's what I do is I create soundscapes and I put them all together, creating this whole vortex of sound, and it's through and I tune my guitar to a 528 frequency, so it's coming through the heart, and so my intention is to help raise people's consciousness through these sounds when they're coming through. So that's, to me, that's an alchemy, creating kind of an alchemy of sound, putting it together and changing that vibration to a higher frequency.
Now, people have compared your music and your talent to Jimi Hendrix, and that it's not only wonderful, amazing music, but that it's healing also. How is music healing?
Oh, I mean, since the beginning of time, I think sound is like very healing. So it's the intention behind sound, I feel, that brings forth the mission. And so my mission is love. So I bring in that joy of love to this planet.
Well, that's fantastic. And you know, vortexes too, It's a word people have heard, but not in association with music necessarily. How does music create a vortex?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
So what it is, when I'm on stage performing this music, to me, I'm creating this vortex around me, a sphere around me, and this music is just coming through into a higher vibration, and so it helps, elevate others in helping to create their vortexes within themselves. So that's my intention.
Now this kind of started for you like back in 1987. There was an incident that happened that kind of started this whole journey for you. You want to tell us about what happened?
Yeah, what happened was in 1987 during the harmonic convergence in Arizona. I was on a motorcycle and I had no clue what I was doing in life. I was just young and just hanging out with this group of people that were riding motorcycles and doing a lot of drugs and things like that. And so one day I was right on well, actually 5 minutes before the accident, a voice came in my head and said, put your helmet on twice. And so I at the time I was really high, so I really didn't question that voice. I just put the helmet on. And I think if I was sober, I would have heard that voice. Who said that? Like that. That was how loud it was. But so I just put the helmet on, and 5 minutes later, a truck pulled in front of me, and at that moment, I knew I was going to die. So I surrendered and let go of the handlebars, and I just surrendered to Creator, God, and said, "Okay, this is it. I trust wherever I'm going to go. This is supposed to be." And so this is what happened. And so I had a spiritual awakening. And so when I'm playing the music, the moment I start playing, that moment of letting go of the handlebars and surrendering, that's where I go when I'm on stage playing the music.
That really is a beautiful place to go, isn't it? Yeah. You were in the hospital recovering. What happened there? I woke up and there was a guitar on the bed, and I just started playing it, and I never put it down since. And so I'm on this mission to share this. Who brought you the guitar?
I have no idea.
You have no idea. So a guitar appeared on your bed in the hospital. Exactly. Okay, now that's a sign.
Yeah, I know.
Now you've been all over the world with your music. You've been everywhere. You've been in Egypt. You've been in South America. You've been in Hawaii. I'm told, actually lived with a pod of dolphins. How does somebody live with a pod of dolphins?
That's a good one. What happened was I lived in a tent for a year and just connected with this pod of dolphins that were living in this cove. And the moment I connected with them, I never reached out and touched them. I just surrendered to them, and I always imagine white light around me, and then they just came around me and they adopted me into their pod because I never reached out and broke. I think when you do that, you break their trust, and so I've always had that connection with them, and so they were my teachers, my bodhisattvas for that year, and they were teaching me all these frequencies and sounds that are coming through the guitar now.
I have to tell you, if you haven't heard of Scott Huckabay, we're going to give you that link. How can people find you or get a hold of you?
Oh, they can go to my website, scotthuckabay.com.
How would you spell that?
SCOTTHUCKABAY.
And that's going to be, of course, on this segment and at the end of this show to make it very easy for you to find Scott. Scott, I want to tell you what a pleasure it's been. Thank you so much for talking with us today. And I got to tell you, I am your new biggest fan.
And now we have a question from Joel about accomplishing a major feat.
My name is Joel. I'm from Berkeley. I like to ask Joseph and Linda a question. Will I accomplish a major feat this year? Something that's going to be recognized, I guess, by a newspaper or television show or major television personality. Yeah.
Well, I think that's a wonderful question. You're a young man, you have lots of great energy, and this is something, of course, you want to know. I've already asked my guides to come in. I've already mixed up the cards. Now we're going to see what they have to say for you. I want to tell you that when I did meet you, I was very impressed with who you are, your intelligence, and how you handled yourself and how you responded to everything that we had talked about. It was actually really great energy. That's probably the biggest influence. Of course, I'm going to tell you what your guides say too. but the biggest influence for you is that you already possess such amazing energy, such amazing power. You are the Father of Swords. You are the hero. You have the divine right of kings. You have the power this lifetime to make incredible things happen. The reason it says that is going to happen for you is because you actually love what you do. Your heart is there. Your energy, your passion is all present for you going forward for your career. You have a solid foundation, which means the schooling you've done, the work you've done has been excellent. And you know that too. People have already told you that you're talented and amazing and creative. You have a lot of hope for the future, but you get nervous. So just get used to that, because getting nervous is part of doing things you've never done before. It's just the natural process. I want to tell you that the more you're out there, the more you're seen, the more you're talking to people, the more you're in the limelight, the more luck you're going to have in your career. I also want you to know that the universe is actually going to help you with this. It's going to give you an open road in which you can walk forward beautifully. It's going to help remove some of those obstacles so that you can achieve what you want to achieve. The only obstacle I see for you is that you have self-doubt. And when you're not with your friends or talking with people who you would like to help you, internally there's that question of, can I really do this? Will this really happen for me? And I want to tell you that right now, at this moment, as I see it for you, as your guides see it for you, the door is completely open for you going forward. You are going to be exposed to information and truth and opportunity. You just have to keep your eyes open. Possibly the only other caveat, I might say, in your reading is that people who are not honest do not get to play with you and do not get to get close. So those people you need to weed out. People who can help you, who you question their integrity, I want you to be careful with and actually use that experience in a way where both of you actually win. You win and you get your talent used and exposed and into the world, and they win because they have an association with you and what you do. So let that nervousness be part of the energy for you that fuels you forward into a great future for yourself. I have to tell you, this is one great set of cards for you to have. And I'm excited for you in your future in the media. And I got to tell you this, the minute you get your break, you better be sending me an email so that I can see what you're doing and contact you.
Almost daily, we have questions regarding our future in one way or another. Sometimes it's a career change or matters of the heart that we want to know about. Or maybe it's a medical situation that we would like insight on. What we don't often realize is that we have the ability to find those answers ourselves. And there are different ways to do that. Here are two of those ways. Some people find the use of a pendulum quite helpful. It's believed that a pendulum is an extension of our intuition, that it converts our sixth sense into physical motion, showing you what you intuitively already know. Any metaphysical shop and some bookstores will have a supply of them, and sometimes the pendulum is a quartz crystal or a small piece of pointed metal that hangs from the end of a chain or a piece of cord. Holding the end of the cord, the pendulum hangs down and it's in the ready position for you to ask your question. The direction that the pendulum swings is how you will get yes and no answers. Another way to get the information you seek about your life is to do it through a meditative process. Everybody can do this and get answers to questions thought to be unanswerable. All you need is about 10 minutes. And if you've never tried this, a good headset with meditative music streaming through is a real plus. It's not necessary, but it'll help you to keep focused on the questions that you're going after. And most importantly, it'll help you to hear the answers. First thing you want to do is find a comfortable place to sit. Take a couple of deep breaths to slow yourself down, and in your mind, slowly count yourself down from 10 to 1. When you arrive at one, see yourself reaching the destination of your most favorite place ever. It may be an ocean beach, a mountaintop, a waterfall. You get the idea. And as you reach your destination, observe your beautiful surroundings. Take another deep breath, and as you do, pose the question you have in your mind. For example, will I accomplish a major feat this year that's going to be recognized nationally? Now, listen to the first thoughts that come into your mind. That will be your answer. It really is just that simple. It's a matter of training your mind to let go of this linear world for just a few moments so you can tap onto the knowledge we call the sixth sense. Whether it's the pendulum or meditation, these methods of getting your own answers are tools, tried and true, to help you each and every day with any question whatsoever, whenever you wish to do so.
We want to answer your questions and address your topics. If you have questions you'd like us to answer personally or topics you'd like us to look into, we're easy to find. You can find me at my website at questtarot.com or Joseph at questtarot.com.
And you can find me at my website at sightforhealing.com or email me at linda@sightforhealing.com. You can watch this program on Comcast Channel 17 in Northern California, the second and fourth Thursdays of the month at 9:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and also you can see it on accesssacramento.org. And don't forget to watch our companion show, Paranormal Connection, with host Donna Wilberg, that airs on the first and third Thursdays of the month.
And of course, you can find us on Vimeo, YouTube, and Facebook, simply by searching Joseph Ernest Martin, Linda Potter, or Paranormal Insights. And you can see our new weekly show, The Magic Minute, where you'll learn easy-to-use everyday magic to improve your life on Vimeo and YouTube every Wednesday. It only takes a moment to make magic.
We want to hear from you so we can bring you our paranormal insights and answers from beyond the ordinary.